Program complete. Auto-engage time sequence synchronized.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Jamie Plays with me, Jamie. Today we're having a look at Star Trek New Horizons, which is coming up with another update. Actually, it's called update number 2 for 3.14.15926. There are lots and lots of updates, so let's dive in. So on the gameplay side, there are a huge set of updates concerning ships and fleets. So for example, there are new fleet actions that are available, including options such as assist research, assist pop growth, planet development, and have your flagship visit places. And this is done via components that have been added to ships. Also, for the Borg, there is a new replacement fleet leader trait progression tree, like we see with Fleet Admiral in the Federation, for example. And the Romulans and Klingons now also have access to their own version of Utopia Phoenicia fleet yards, which is also capable of building their own legendary ship names that we see from things like the shows and the films. There's also been a behind-the-scenes update to military flagships, so this has now set them as their own ship class, and this will allow for more options in future updates about what to do with these ships and how to make them even more unique and special. Also, the naval cap modifiers has been balanced to be more even, to avoid a single empire having a significantly larger naval cap than its neighbors. On the gameplay side, there's also been a update and revision of the espionage weights, so that there's greater variation and also more likely to be used by the AI. Specimens have now also been fully unlocked and added to events with the purpose of adding them to your Grand Archive, if you have that DLC. And there's also, at the very start of the game, a new optional performance mode which disables non-performing trade routes in favor of the mid to late game performance. Also in the setup, we have the Orions, the Paradins, and the Crosians. They now have a pheromone trait, which will provide an appropriate random leaders a special trait. In terms of empires, the Sonat and the Ryans have also been buffed when played by the AI slightly, so hopefully they'll be able to thrive and not only survive but also thrive in your next playthrough. And also the way that the Xindi were created during the Xindi Crisis event chain has also been reprogrammed or recoded to be a little bit more streamlined, and also it will help to avoid later game issues, including things like performance issues. Also in the setup, there's a new pirate trait, or there are a new set of pirate traits which aid in salvage collections, so we'll see more of that in this new update. Event countries, meaning countries that are created by events, will also no longer be impacted by the Star Trek New Horizons combat modifier that you select at the very beginning of your playthrough. In addition to that enhancement in performance, there's also been small performance enhancements to a wide range of triggers. Those will also be added in this upcoming update. And for those of you who have issues with the Great Houses or just simply don't want to have them in your game, you can run this code here. So if you open up the console and then type in sth_fix.209, it will run a new script which deletes all of the Great Houses from the game. In terms of events, there's a lot of new things that have been added as well. So we've seen that specimens have been added to a lot of the events as rewards. So there's definitely that. There's also a new sabotage event that helps you as, for example, the Romulans, to take out anti-cloak detection modules, which will be extremely useful for then flying into the center of their space, surrounding their capital and cloaking, declaring war and decloaking, and just taking them over as quickly as possible. Additionally, the Coalition of Earth now has their own unique flavor of the NX build event. Under events, we've also got some of the Cerulean portraits have been updated. There's been Captain Styles has been added, including their portrait and the leader, and then a number of event pictures have also been updated. In terms of ships additions, there's the Rockwell class, which is added as an alternative for the Bonaventure class. The Romulans now have the Gallant class, which you can use as an alternative to the TOS battlecruiser that we see on the Romulans. The Farragut class has been now added to the Bellerophon class, and the TOS versions of the Nimitz and the Cardenas classes have also been added as sections to their respective ship classes during that era. For the Gorn, we also see a huge buff to their fighters, which is in line with Star Trek Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And also, there are two new Akira variant classes. So there's the Alita and the Proteus variants. Those have also been added to the mod. In addition to a number of absolutely huge number of fixes, I should say, I've added a selection to this video of some of the biggest fixes, or the most notable fixes that you'll find. So for example, those who are running the TNG era submod will no longer have the Babel event spawn during the TNG era. This doesn't make sense. It should be during the Enterprise era anyway, so that has been removed. The Discovery Control event should no longer end before it begins, so some players had noticed that, oh, it's triggered, and oh, it's completely gone. So that should not happen anymore. A huge update, or a huge fix, I should say, listening posts have been fixed and are available to build again. So any of you that were having problems there, they should be fixed now. The Great Houses, so as the Federation, if they were trying to integrate the Klingons, sometimes a new Great House would spawn during the middle of that, causing some issues, so that has now been removed as well. Speaking of the Federation, if you try to form the Federation as the Vulcans, in the most recent update and the most recent patches, there was an issue where rather than using Federation ships, it would revert back to the Vulcan-style ships, and all of those were broken models, so that bug has been fixed. The Undiscovered Country event chain has also been fixed. The flow of that has been improved. Moving on to the Borg and the Undine. Unfortunately, if you liked automation and playing as one of those two empires, you can no longer do that, unfortunately. So have to do everything manually instead. And the Romulan hero and exploration cruisers have been fixed as well, and they are now buildable and should act much more along the lines of how the Federation versions do. Speaking of the Romulans, the Romulan recycle plant has also been fixed, and the Flow of the Tomid event has also been fixed. So if you run the TNG era, for example, then you get the Tomid event that fires relatively soon thereafter, where the Federation might be able to get cloaking, or it leads to the Treaty of Alderaan. That flow has been fixed in several places. The triggers for the Generations events have also been updated to cover more situations, so in theory it should fire and should make more sense when it fires. If you were like me and in your current playthrough you've been unable to take hostile actions against warp-capable species, now we should be able to. So myself, a very big thank you to the devs for that one. And the AI should now also correctly prioritize essential counselor positions. So especially the ones that they start off with at the beginning of the game, before you try to expand your council, they should definitely be putting in kind of the right people into the right positions, and especially those essential counselor positions from now on. So there's that age-old question, when is this update coming out? I do not have a fixed date, but as was said on the Discord server, it's coming at transwarp speed, so we should hopefully get this update very, very soon. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please definitely remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for the episode of Jamie Plays. Bye for now.